Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. When Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives banded together and voted to deny life-saving measures to babies who survive abortion, much was revealed. New York's Jerry Nadler said it would be an awful thing to transport such a baby to a hospital because he might die on the way. Seriously, that's what he said. But something else was revealed as well. The total silence of multiple U.S. bishops in all of this. Biden and Pelosi, because of their high profiles, have gotten all the press, but 64, count them, 64 Catholic Democrats in the U.S. House voted in favor of killing babies who survived abortion. Church Militant did a little research here and looked into the overlap between those Democrats' congressional districts and their home dioceses, meaning who are the bishops? Who are the bishops of these Democrats, all 64 of them? What we found was this: more than 40 U.S. bishops are the local bishop for those 64 Democrats. Some of the bishops, for example, Jose Gomez of Los Angeles, have multiple congressmen in his archdiocese, which of course is to be expected because of the size of the archdiocese and it overlaps with various congressional districts. Nonetheless, by Church Militant's count, 46 U.S. bishops are the local ordinaries for these 64 supposedly Catholic congressmen, and we can nowhere locate a single one of these bishops calling out and condemning by name their local congressman for their congressman's vote. If 64 Catholic congressmen had voted to, say, direct taxpayer dollars to the KKK, would the bishops have said nothing? If the 64 Catholic congressmen had voted to fund gas chambers in their home districts, would the bishops have said nothing? If 64 Catholic congressmen had voted to deny housing to their constituents based on the color of their skin, would the bishops have said nothing? If 64 Catholic congressmen had voted to open up a RICO case against the church for sex abuse cover-up and create a federal law to toss the bishops in jail for their participation, would the bishops have said nothing? Yet, here we have 64 Catholic congressmen voting to kill or let die children outside the womb who survived abortion, and yet the bishops say nothing to them about their direct vote. These are their congressmen, souls that are directly responsible to and for, and yet not a word from their local bishop. The bishops are complicit in not only abortion, but now infanticide. They won't shut their mouths about illegal immigration or climate change, supporting it because they reap hundreds of millions of dollars each year from the federal government in helping to destroy the nation's borders. But on a question of literally life and death of a baby, again, outside the womb, not a word. So without any further commentary, Church Militant presents to you the list of bishops complicit in infanticide, meaning they have at least one Catholic U.S. congressman in their diocese who voted for this monstrous evil and have said nothing about it. In Arizona, Bishop John Dolan of Phoenix and Bishop Edward Weisenberger of Tucson. In California, Bishop Robert Vasha of Santa Rosa, Bishop Michael Barber of Oakland, Salvatore Cordileone of San Francisco, and not because of Nancy Pelosi, but another congressman, Kevin Mullen. Then, of course, we have Bishop Oscar Cantu of San Jose, Bishop Daniel Garcia of Monterey, Bishop Joseph Brennan of Fresno, Archbishop Jose Gomez of Los Angeles, Bishop Alberto Rojas of San Bernardino, Kevin Van of Orange, Robert McElroy of San Diego. Shifting over to Colorado, Archbishop Samuel Aquila of Denver. In Connecticut, Bishop Leonard Blair of Hartford, Bishop Michael Cote of Norwich. In Florida, Bishop John Noonan of Orlando. In Illinois, big surprise, Cardinal Supich of Chicago. In Indiana, Bishop Robert McClory of Gary, Indiana. When he was here in Detroit, he gave us all kinds of grief for using the name Catholic. Massachusetts, we have Bishop William Burr in Springfield, Bishop Robert McManus of Worcester, Cardinal Sean O'Malley of Boston, Bishop Edgar Gacuna of Fall River in Michigan, Bishop Earl Boyer of Lansing, of course, Archbishop Alan Vigneron right here in Detroit. In Minnesota, Archbishop Bernard Hebda of St. Paul, Minneapolis. In Nevada, Bishop George Thomas of Las Vegas. In New Jersey, Bishop James Checchio of Metuchen. Cardinal Joseph Tobin, again, surprise, in Newark. Kevin Sweeney in Patterson. In New Mexico, Bishop Peter Baldacchino of Las Cruces. Archbishop John Wester of Santa Fe. In New York, Bishop Robert Brennan of Brooklyn. Cardinal Timothy Dolan, Mr. Pro-Life himself, of the Archdiocese of New York. Bishop Edward Scharfenberger of Albany. Salvatore Matano of Rochester. Bishop Michael Fisher of Buffalo. In Ohio, Daniel Thomas of Toledo. Moving on to Oregon, Archbishop Sample. Yes, Archbishop Sample has one of these killers in his diocese from Portland. In Pennsylvania, Archbishop Nelson Perez of Philadelphia. Joseph Bambera of Scranton, Zubik of Pittsburgh. In Texas, Bishop Mark Seitz of El Paso, Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Siller of San Antonio, Cardinal Daniel DiNardo of Galveston, Houston, Bishop Jose Vasquez of Austin. In Virginia, Bishop Michael Burbage of Arlington. As far as Church Militant can determine, not one of those bishops offered a public rebuke or a condemnation of the Catholic congressman in their diocese for their support of infanticide. Remember, it was a direct vote. It wasn't something they were saying in a speech or campaign money they took. They went up to the podium and they pushed their support on a vote, a congressional vote for infanticide. It simply cannot be that difficult for these bishops to issue a public statement condemning child killing and then announcing that their respective congressmen are to be denied Holy Communion. It seems easy enough to accept hundreds of millions for destruction of the border in the name of justice.
Father, we love you.
Father, we love you.
We
Thank you. Thank you,
A
Father.
lady came out with the rose. You had to say, Father, thank you so
Father.
much.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah, and there was also a turnaround. She didn't go in.
There was a turnaround too.
And we talked to a post-aborted woman who we're helping. God bless you, Father.
Thank you, Father.
It should be happening to bishops. Meanwhile, as you just saw, Father Fidelis Mosinski continues to be dragged from abortion chambers, arrested, and jailed for his work on behalf of the victims of abortion. For one thing or another, many U.S. bishops should be behind bars as well. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.